or who makes you unhappy? What actions can you take to decrease it or eliminate it altogether? What or who makes you happy? What actions can you take to increase it or at least preserve it and or sustain it? Right? Making sure that we prioritize what's going on in our life, that we take inventory, that we take account of what's going on in our life versus just letting life happen, which so many of us do. Everything that we do, there should be some sort of plan around it. Now, of course, things will fly in and fly out randomly, but for the most part, we need to make sure that we are on top of our games. And I guess that's the best way to put it. And so I'll start off with the five that I want all of us to pay attention to. So I'm quickly going to go over number one. The first thing I want us to write down, prioritize. I don't care if you write it on an index card, a napkin, a piece of paper, whatever, but I want you to write down first and foremost what and or who makes you unhappy. Yes, I'm starting with being unhappy. What occurs in your life that you know when this thing happens or this person comes around gives you a sense of unease, unhappiness, dread, all of those things. And the next question is real simple. What actions? Because you know we're about that action now. We're about that action. What action can you take to either decrease it or eliminate it altogether? Right. So, case in point, I'll go real quick with me. And so, first, I want to know what or who or what and or who makes you unhappy. And for me, what makes me unhappy is the news, the corporate media news. It makes me unhappy. Something that used to bring me so much joy because I did more than just listen to the stories. I evaluated the journalists. Like I enjoy the written word, I enjoy journalism, and I enjoy watching commentators deliver. And so, what used to bring me so much joy, it brings me just the opposite. I am so unhappy when I watch corporate news media because they all seem like robots. They all seem like they're being told what to say and how to say it. Right. And so it doesn't seem authentic at all. So, what have I done? I've decided now I can't eliminate it altogether. Unfortunately, every time I turn on the channel or every time I open up any, social media site, it's going to be there. The news is going to find you. But I have drastically decreased my intake of corporate news. And so it can be anything from the news, it can be being unhealthy, it can be feeling stuck in a place, it can be so many things. So I definitely, and I haven't even talked about people, right? But yeah, for me, first and foremost is corporate news media. So we want to know what makes you unhappy and what actions can you take to decrease it or eliminate it. Sometimes we know it's hard to completely eliminate everything that makes you unhappy, especially if they live in your household or if you have, if you, it's someplace you have to go to work every day. Immediate elimination is not always a solution, but definitely how can you decrease it? And then follow that question up by what makes you happy? What and or who makes you happy? So again, what is that thing that brings you joy that, you know, if you're feeling down, you get a like a dopamine, a shot of dopamine, right? And again, it could be a person, place, or thing, right? And so, but we just sometimes don't even acknowledge what those things are. So for me, nature, being amongst trees, immersing myself in natural environments, or rather it's the sand and the beach, rather it's the botanical gardens, right? Rather it's just, I don't know, spending time just listening to the birds chirp someplace. That brings me so much happiness, so much joy. And I then ask myself, how can I increase it? How can I increase that person, place, or thing? Or how can I at least preserve it and or sustain it, right? Because sometimes it's not always logical to, especially if you do something, prioritize it, right? It's not always logical that you can increase it, but making sure that you're doing everything you can to preserve and or sustain it. And then, so this is technically number 3. So those two are combined, right? So what or who makes you unhappy? What actions, right? What actions can you take to decrease it or eliminate it altogether? What or who makes you happy? What actions can you take to increase it or at least preserve it and or sustain it? Then, based on those answers, you want to ask yourself, do you need help to accomplish any of those things, right? Is it something that you can do on your own, or is it something that when you try to do it on your own, you get stuck, you get overwhelmed? So, if you know being overweight makes you unhappy, and then you think about the things that you can to decrease that unhappiness. So, losing weight, right? Losing weight is a way that it can help to eliminate that feeling of unhappiness. But is it something that you can do by yourself, or do you need help? And help can come in all different forms. It can come from a friend that you enlist. A lot of times we just don't ask for the help. And that's where I'm going with this. A lot of times we just suffer in silence when on the other side of it, there are friends, family members, associates, community groups, online communities that are willing to walk this walk with you. So, is it something that you can do on your own? Or is it something that requires, or you feel you've tried too many times and you know that you need assistance? So, that was question number 3. Question number 4 would then be, so it's technically a 3A, right? Because if you think you need help, who can you get to help? And don't just think of one person. Try to put together a list just in case. Plan A doesn't work. It's all about having options, right? And that's what we talk about here. Having options is a sense of freedom, because if plan A doesn't work, then you just go down the list of plan B. So maybe your initial thought is that you will enlist your sister because your sister is usually there for you and blah 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 blah. And maybe your sister starts out being there for you. But then something happens in your sister's life that she can no longer be there for you. It's not personal, and we have to acknowledge and accept that everybody goes through things at different times, but that shouldn't stop you from doing or getting to the place that you want to be. So if your sister falls off, who's next on that list? If they can't do it, who's next on that list? And the who doesn't have to be a single solitary person. I kind of already gave it away. It could be a community, right? It can be an online chat, or with people that you know and trust, not no random people. I don't suggest that, but put together a list of who can help you. And then finally, you have to put a time frame to it. You have to put a time frame to get this accomplished. And again, it could be bite-sized time frames. It doesn't have to be by the end, and I prefer that it's not by the end of the year, I'm going to start going to the beach, or I'm going to start spending more time with nature, or I'm going to eliminate being around these people. Make it very specific time frames that are easy to look back on and see how you've accomplished them, right? Thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to watch the rest of our Stay Ready playlist and subscribe to the channel so you never miss when we post a new video.